Namaste. We're here with Frederick Onyango from Kenya. Onyango, how are you today?
I'm fine, fine, very fine.
So, we're here to talk about you and your work in food production systems, especially regenerative and sustainable food production systems. And can you
Yes.
tell us a bit about the work you've been doing in your village and what types of expertise you have?
So since I started doing this, I founded a CBO called the Sustainable Agroecological Development Action. In summary, it's called SADA. So in that CBO, I founded with the objective of training farmers on the permaculture farming system and techniques, and also trying to do some alternative on how people can have their food. The issue of food insecurity is a very amazing thing that's really disturbing a number of people here in Kenya. And I was trying to come up with some alternative on how people can use the local available resources to
Can
grow their
you,
own food.
sorry to interrupt you, can you give us a bit more information about the insecurity situation in Kenya?
Yes. So the food insecurity in Kenya is is another disaster that's really affecting people currently in Kenya. And like currently, like I can say, like 70% of people in Kenya, they are like food insecure, and the nutritional part of it is wide ranging, because there's a number of factors, like what have been causing this is the climate change, the high growth population rate, and the political instability are some of the cause factors that have been causing food insecurity in Kenya. And a number of it, like most of farming in Kenya, we depend on rain-fed agriculture. And being that we suffer like the other nation, like we suffer the climate change, so it has been very difficult for farmers to grow like frequent crops in their gardens. So because they depend only the rain-fed like agriculture.
Is there enough land in Kenya to support the population if the agriculture were done in sustainable regenerative ways?
I can say that there's a lot of land, but a lot of land is owned by the government. It's only that people, like other people, they own a small piece of land, like that cannot support their home and also support farming. So most of people here, they lease land to farm.
They lease it
Yes,
from the
that's the
government?
only. They lease from the government and also from some people who got like big portion of land during the land division. The other people who are that link by the people who are partition giving division dividing the people. They were using the surveyors when they are dividing people, so they got like some advantage on that. And
Sorry,
actually, the other
can
people.
you provide us a bit of background into why some people have large land holdings? Can you give a little bit of history behind that?
Yeah, I can say that the reality of this issue is that it's being caused by corruption. There's a tendency in Kenya that those who are in government, they try to use the government resources just to benefit their close friends and their tribes. So you can get other people have got large range of land, and other people they're like in a squatter, because those are squatter is simply, it's not because they don't have right to own the land, but it's because they have no connection with the people in the system.
So there has been no land reform in Kenya, or has there been land reform where land has been redistributed to the farmers and the people?
That's written in papers, but there's no implementation on land reform. There's no
So
implementation.
there was legally a land reform, but people haven't actually gotten the land?
The government are not willing to implement that.
Okay.
There is that land reform, but the government is not willing, because they fear that those people, once maybe unfortunately they get out of the power, the people can overtake them. But they're trying to maintain the system so that they can treat them.
I see. But in theory, do you think there is enough land? If land distribution and land ownership was not a problem, is there enough land to produce the food that Kenyans need?
Yes, I can double say that yes, yes, and yes. We have enough land for farming. It's only
And
that this,
and what is the rain situation in Kenya? Is there enough rain? Is there
there's
enough
enough
water?
rain. Actually, we can say we are really blessed because we receive like after 2 months due rain in Kenya.
You mean every 2 months it rains, or what do you mean?
No, like you can't stay like more than 2 months without rain.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So tell us what you are doing in your village, how you are affecting the food production systems in your village.
Wow, very great question. So, having been in the School of Agriculture for a number of years, when I finished my high school, then I went to the university. Then I did also like some study in colleges. Later, maybe I also went to US to study more on agriculture, sustainable agriculture. So when I came back in 2019, I started to train. I formed the CBO called the SADA Kenya,
Can
which
you
is
can
like
you tell us what a CBO is, please?
CBO is committee-based organization.
Committee
So it's
based.
a
Okay.
committee-based, yeah, it's committee-based organization. So I formed the purpose of training people. Like I was trying just to give back to the community, the knowledge that I had, because I felt like it's not worth for me to go to look for employment and I have a knowledge and my people are suffering in my village. So I decided just to go to my village to form a CBO, a community-based organization, so that people can come, especially the farmers who have been suffering due to lack of these skills and knowledge, so that they can be trained for free, and we provide them with the startup seeds and some of the requirements, basic requirements for farming, like the garden tools and the seeds, so that after being trained, they can go and start on their own. So they do what they know, and we also support them. Sometimes you can give somebody knowledge, but they lack the resources. So we found that it would be very useful if you give them a startup seeds instead of just small seeds and some basic farming tools, so that they can enjoy it and not do it because they already acquired the skills. So that's what
Can
I've
you
been doing.
can you describe the type of farming that you are teaching them to do? Can you just describe this process a bit more? So you give them seeds, but what type of are they also producing their own fertilizers, or what kind of plants? Are they native plants? Can you give us a bit more information?
So we have been training farmers on two farming techniques. The first one is organic farming system. Organic farming systems where they don't use the synthetic farm inputs like the fertilizer. So we train them how to use the compost, or for those who will be able to maybe to get the farmyard manure, we train them how they can use that compost to increase the soil fertility, to support the plant growth with the aim of getting high yield. On the other hand, we also, like, for those who are able to get the farmyard manure, or those who have got poultry waste, and we train them how they can ferment it very well, then they use it in the farm. So we train them on organic farming system. We train them also on the permaculture farming system, where they can grow crops, intercrop them with the trees, fruit trees, for double income and for double food security aspect of it.